Fort Smith liquor store is heavily damaged after an early morning fire. Right now at 4, we're going to hear from the owner and get a look inside at that damage. Plus, the Trump administration could be held in criminal contempt over deportations. Legal battle over the president's immigration crackdown.
Covering news where you live. This is 5 News First at 4.
Tonight, we're hearing from the owner of Shamrock Liquor warehouse in Fort Smith after much of the building's interior burned in a fire this morning. 5 News reporter Jacob Luthi takes us inside to see the devastation and the work already being done to rebuild.
Although it's a total loss, I mean, we still have a building. We will rebuild.
Shirley Yeager says Shamrock Liquor warehouse has been in the family since the 1950s. A blaze early Wednesday morning tore through the building, gutting much of the interior.
It's emotional to walk in and see the store looking like it does and knowing that everything is going to have to be destroyed. But at the same time, we'll be starting fresh, we'll be starting new.
Charred walls, shattered glass, and insulation hanging from the ceiling. That's what greeted Yeager as she stepped into the 15,000 square foot building, just hours after firefighters brought the flames under control.
There was 5 pumpers and 2 ladders and 1 rescue truck, so there's 8 companies here and 2 battalion chiefs were here this morning. So around 25 personnel were on scene to get the fire under control.
Fort Smith Battalion Chief Gabriel Flanagan says crews rushed to the scene just before 5 a.m. as traffic was stalled on Midland Boulevard. Now investigators are working to determine what sparked the fire. Even after hearing the devastating news, many employees still showed up ready to work and ready to help.
I have 19 super employees. 2 of them have been here over 25 years. And we're a family here. We help each other and take care of each other. So they've been here, most of them, since 5 o'clock this morning themselves.
Yeager says she's already thinking about the day customers walk through the doors again.
We hope that as soon as we're back up and running that we will see familiar faces again and they'll want to come back like they always have all these years.
In Fort Smith, covering news where you live, Jacob Luthi, 5 News.
Pretty nice afternoon. Current temperatures largely in the 70s, even some low 80s across the area. 81 currently in Fort Smith. Meanwhile, 75 the temperature in Fayetteville. Springdale reporting to us 73 degrees. We're at 78 currently in Heavener and in Paris. What's the rest of the afternoon have in store for you? Pretty comfortable weather. We'll be in the 70s at least through 7 o'clock in northwest Arkansas under a mostly clear sky. Got a couple of clouds passing through northwest. Right now we're mostly clear in the River Valley. That should be the case the rest of this evening. Holding on to those 70s through likely around the 7 o'clock hour, and for most of the overnight will be in the 60s. Not bad at all. Tomorrow's going to shake out to be a much warmer day, and it's going to be windy. Those winds are going to get pesky again, up to about 40 or so miles per hour. We'll track those. Decent weather for the first half of Friday, but by Friday night, we're tracking that potential of some more storms to move back into the area. And there's going to be the potential for additional rounds of rain and some storms going into your Easter weekend when it all comes to an end, and how you can plan your Easter festivities around Old Mother Nature, all coming up here in just a few.
All right, Scott, thanks. New at 4, a bill putting more protections in place for minors where social media is concerned is now law in Arkansas. 5 News reporter Kayla Davis is following the developing updates for us this afternoon. And Kayla, it's my understanding that this actually strengthens the legislation that was passed 2 years ago.
That's right, Darren. It's all about increasing safety for our minors. Lawmakers had to revisit the issue after a federal judge blocked a previous attempt due to First Amendment violations. Now the new bill signed today still addresses social media safety for minors, but will address some of the constitutional concerns. For example, Senate Bill 611 changes the definition of a minor from 18 years old to 16. It also requires social media platforms to verify the age of users 16 and younger before they can access the app. Unlike the 2023 Act, this bill no longer requires parental consent for minors, but that doesn't mean parents can't still take an active role in monitoring their children's social media. Casey Atwood at the Children's Safety Center in Springdale even encourages it.
The contract is always a wonderful idea. And so I think that when we think about giving our child access to, the world of the internet and technology, I think we really do have to be mindful and set some limits, so giving your child access to that is a privilege and not a right. So setting those boundaries up front can be really helpful.
Exemptions for these requirements include certain platforms like email services, nonprofits, and schools. The law goes into effect in 1 year to give social media platforms time to make those adjustments. Kayla Davis, 5 News.
All right, Kayla, thanks. Right now at 4, the Trump administration's immigration policies are running into legal problems. Erica Brown is here now with the ongoing fight between the White House and a federal judge.
2 planes carrying more than 200 migrants to El Salvador last month could land the Trump administration in contempt of court. A federal judge Wednesday said he found probable cause to hold contempt hearings for defying his order to turn the planes around. In a 46-page decision, Judge James Boasberg wrote, "The Constitution does not tolerate willful disobedience of judicial orders." The White House says it will appeal the decision.
Present all.
This comes as Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth hosted the Salvadoran defense minister at the Pentagon to discuss deportees being housed in one of El Salvador's most infamous prisons. A Maryland father is among those detained in El Salvador. The White House acknowledges he was deported after an administrative error, but insists Kilmar Abrego Garcia is a gang member based on allegations from a confidential informant.
There is never going to be a world in which this is an individual who's going to live a peaceful life in Maryland because he is a foreign terrorist and a MS-13 gang member.
Maryland Senator Chris Van Hollen arrived in El Salvador Wednesday in an attempt to secure Abrego Garcia's release. Van Hollen has been documenting the journey on his X account.
I told his wife and his family I would do everything possible to bring him home, and we're going to keep working at this until we're successful.
Tuesday, a federal judge said she will order the Trump administration to show what steps, if any, it has taken to bring Abrego Garcia back. Erica Brown, CBS News, the White House.
The Trump administration says the Supreme Court's ruling does not apply to the El Salvador president. President Bukele says this week he has no plans to send Abrego Garcia back to the U.S. Well, the Texas Public Health Department reporting another 5 measles cases, adding to the triple-digit outbreak across the state. Now, CDC scientists are saying numbers are likely even greater than we know. More than 560 cases of the measles have been reported in Texas so far this year. It makes up most of the more than 700 across the country. During a regular meeting of the CDC's Advisory Committee on Immunizations, senior CDC scientists said the outbreak is likely even bigger.
In talking with families, they may mention prior cases that have recovered and never received testing. Other families that may have cases and never had sought treatment.
Health leaders have worried that if they can't stop ongoing outbreaks of measles, the U.S. could be on track to officially lose its status of having eliminated community spread of the virus. Fayetteville's adult Easter egg hunt returning this year, all for a good cause. It all gets going Saturday at 5:30 with the egg hunt at the C4 Nightclub and Lounge. That'll be followed by a bunny trail along Dixon Street. Tickets available online. You must be 21. All of the proceeds will go to the Rift Valley Foundation, benefiting women and children in Kenya's Rift Valley.
Yeah, so we support women and children primarily in the Rift Valley Foundation area or Rift Valley area of Kenya. It started a guy from the area came and ran track for the University of Arkansas. Then he and his wife were just on their own supporting various people back there through his family and people they know. And then it just kind of built momentum from there as people heard about the stories. And so we primarily focus on health, education, and medical needs.